with the Miami Dolphins, contender or pretender?
I mean, contender still. I want to see more from them. I just haven't seen more from them. I mean, you're talking about the Buffalo Bills where he's had his weapons and they still can't get past that 11, 12 wins or whatever it is. Same with the Dolphins. Like, they're just right there on the brink of the playoffs. Sometimes they'll make it. They're always around that bubble spot that he's had weapons throughout his Tua. He's had weapons throughout his career there. I mean, last year they did well and they fucked it up in Miami or
Kansas City
because of the winter game. But I want to see them do it again. Like, they still have a lot to prove to me until they can get over that hump. It's not just them. I mean, teams like the Ravens, the Bills, they're all just can't get past that threshold. And until the Dolphins get past their threshold, which is right under what the Bills have been, I can't say it. I can't say that they're going to be great. But are they contenders still? Yes. I think their window has not shut. But they're needing to step it up a little bit if they want to actually have a legitimate shot at the Super Bowl.
Yes. So last year they their playoff hopes were dashed when they
we thought they were going to go to the Super Bowl at some point last year.
Oh yeah, when they were laying 70 points against the Broncos, everybody was like, "Oh my god." And then they went to Philadelphia came in and kicked their ass, and nobody thought Philadelphia was good the entire season. So that was a wake-up call, but like you said, with the Dolphins, they finished as the same record as Bills, but lost the tiebreakers. So they finished second in the AFC East last year with an 11-6 record. Their over-under going into this season was 9.5. I picked over, you picked under. I do think, unlike the Bills, they didn't really lose any key assets during the offseason. Now, again, we talked about it when we were doing the over or under. I am worried, just like you, when somebody gets paid, especially a shitload of money, like how much of their mindset changes, or are they just like, don't have to work so hard anymore. I just got $250 million. Right? Which
and X amount guaranteed.
Yeah. Which I'll tell you what.
I mean, that's insane to me. The guaranteed portion of this has always blown my mind for teams. Like, prove that you can do it and I'll give you the money. Prove that you don't just give them all the money up front. Like, that's, I mean, there's, you take that into a smaller scale. You never pay up front for everything. You never, like, give a landscaper or this or that. You wait till the job's done. Like, I had a tree service one time come out, and they asked if I could pay them up front, and I said no. Like, hey, do you mind if you pay us up front? Or they didn't demand it, and I was just like, no. Do your service, blah 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 blah, because I'm not. No, I don't want to get swindled because you get paid. What's their incentive on staying and doing their thing? Like,
yeah. And this is white collar casino, blue collar BJ on this podcast, because I would have been like, you know what, guys, I trust you. Take the money. I believe in you. I trust you. And Casino said, why would I pay you my money? That means I'll have less money for my caviar and my champagne and my champagne.
I hate champagne, dude.
I do too. It's disgusting.
It's so gross.
Except in a mimosa and a Bellini, pretty good.
But I don't know if I've ever had caviar, to be honest.
I don't think I have either.
But you know what? Something like on a sushi thing, like where it's like the fake caviar bubbles or something.
Yeah. I've never had caviar. I'm just going to take a wild swing that I wouldn't like it. It does not.
All I hear is it's just super salty and tastes like the ocean.
Ugh. Maybe I would like it. I don't know. But speaking of that contract, Casino, it was a 4-year, $212 million extension for 4 years. It included, like you were just saying, $167 million of it guaranteed, which, again, stupid money. He is going to earn $23 million this year, and then the next 3 years after that, he will earn $53 million a year, which means simply this is the year.
I
that
want to
the
know.
Dolphins
I
have.
want to know, what would you do? Yes, you're right. This is the year. After this year, they're not going to have money to put around anywhere. What would you do with all that money? Like, I know this is that conversation. You win the lottery, what would you buy? But I honestly, I can't fathom having that much money. Like,
No.
I can like in my head, like, oh, if I had like a $200,000 a year job, I'd be like, oh, I could do this comfortably. I could do this comfortably, but I don't like, I can't see myself being like, I'm going to blow this money on all this or that. But I could be like, oh, I can have my vehicle paid off. I could, I probably even a house paid off or something. I could
Yeah.
have other things that I can manage, like comprehend of this is what I can have. I don't know what I would do with an excess amount of money. I honestly can't. I don't know.
Yeah. And I also,
Get
you
golf
always hear,
lessons? I don't know.
well, you always hear those things where it's like, this guy won the lottery and then he just went crazy buying like hookers and cocaine.
And
And
now
then,
he's broke.
yeah, there's nobody, I mean, there's a couple people I work with, but there's nobody I know in real life, like any of our friends or anybody who I would be like, oh shit, you gave that guy $100 million, it'd be gone in 5 years. There's just nobody I know who like thinks like that, but maybe that's why the
If I had
crazier,
$100 million in 5 years, no joke, maybe 2 million would be spent.
that's what I'm saying. I
Because
don't
I don't know.
know.
Like, okay, like I said, my vehicle pay off. Okay, my house pay off. Okay, I haven't even hit 1 million yet. All right,
Yeah.
so from there, I'm like, oh, okay, my family. I guess I'll take care of them. Sure, but again, like, I
Yeah,
don't know.
like you put money in for kids' college funds and stuff like that. But then, like, yeah, like after that, it's just like, I'm
You
not
just
buying 50 cars. I'm not buying
yeah,
10 houses. It's like,
right. Yeah.
but maybe that mindset is why we're not filthy rich. Because the people who are filthy rich just don't think like that. They're like,
No,
I
yeah, they
have
just
this
want
money.
to.
Why would I not spend it?
Yeah, true,
But
true.
as far as the
Yeah.
Dolphins and Tua goes,
Well, if I had the money, I might actually hire somebody to take care of my kids while I do the Only Sports podcast. So that'd be fun.
that would, you know what? We'd have like a professional studio. We'd have
That's
our,
where we would spend our money on.
yeah, we'd have
This would
be
be my
cool.
real job. I would quit my day job. I would have interns to give me all my information for me, do all my research, just have papers and papers laid out in front of me of notes.
Yeah. And then we
See, we're
could
doing this all off
partner.
the cuff. We're doing this off the cuff, All those other professional, like Colin Cowherd and all of them. Jeez, kid. Like Colin Cowherd and all of them. They have like just giant stacks of notes and paperwork in front of them.
All we have for this podcast
It's
is
just
this
screaming
binder.
children.
This binder and children. But as far as the defense for the Miami Dolphins goes, last year they finished right under the Buffalo Bills, making them the 10th or no, I'm sorry. Oh, yes. In total defense, they were the 10th best defense in the league, the number one overall offense in the league last year. And again, these are total offense, total defense. But again, they were just basically number one because of that Denver game. That Denver game absolutely skewed all the rankings, but you take that game away or just make that an average game, like an average blowout and not a 70 point pop, they still probably finish top 5 right around what Dallas, Ravens, Rams, Chiefs, and Eagles were doing. So again, top 10 in total defense, top number 1 in total offense. I don't think those numbers really fall off that much this year, which is why I think they're a better team this year than they were last year. And again, last year they couldn't beat any of the good teams. So all they have to do is beat half of the amount of good teams they did last year, and they get 3 more wins than they had last year. Right? Like that's the way I'm looking at the over under for this Dolphins team. And then when you look at their strength of schedule, they have the 8th easiest strength of schedule in the entire league. Now, again, I've said I don't really believe in strength of schedule, but just looking at it from a from the standpoint of what their record, what of their potential people they're playing this year.
Don't worry, you can stutter as much as you want. This show has been off the rails all day.
Yeah, but I'm saying just from the standpoint of looking at who they're playing this year, the division they play in, obviously we think the Patriots are going to be down, Buffalo Bills, who knows? And then New York Jets, who we're going to talk about in a second, even bigger question mark. So I do think this is an 11-12 win Dolphins team. I think they're going to finish as a top 5 offense, potentially top 10 defense again. So all they got to do is beat the good teams. But like you said, like the Ravens, like the Bills, like the Bengals, they just have to get past the Chiefs. If they can beat the Chiefs, they can beat anybody in the AFC.